All right, so you see the top of my head. That's just the deal. So I just wanted to mention a couple of things that I didn't mention before. Basically, so it's going to be a last video because I want to get back to biblical things, biblical studies, and which is hard because I'm alone with Anna most of the day because Reese's not here anymore. So, due to my request, I'm the one who requested her to live with her mother until I move, which is not going to be this year unless I hit the lotto. It's going to be next year. So we're talking about, it's April now. We're talking about March of next year. We're talking about 11 months that I have to be in this basket, until I get where I need to get at. But I want to mention one thing, and I forgot to because she was just here to birth the baby, to pick up some Pampers for the other baby, and I don't know what else she did to pick up some pots for Romeo, her father. I'm not gonna say my father-in-law anymore. They don't act like you know father-in-law and mother-in-law. So why even say why even give them that courtesy. But Metro has 2 floors. And I hope I'm looking right at the camera. If I'm not, forgive me. I can't see that well. But Metro has 2 floors. I bet you she was on the second floor looking for me. The second floor. Okay, that explains everything. I was like, I think just maybe either God closed her mind or she closed her mind off to the first floor, and she was all day looking for me. Not all day, but all the time looking for me on the second floor. What the hell I'm gonna do on the second floor? I ain't got no money to buy anything on the second floor. Even though I'm gonna probably buy a rice cooker and a glove, and that's basically about it. But what the hell I'm gonna what the hell what in God's hell? And I'm gonna be in the second floor. I'm just saying. I mean, explains everything because I didn't see her on the first floor at all. And you're talking about a big guy. I'm a big dude. I don't care if I lost 50 pounds. I'm a big guy. 'Cause I'm very muscular. Forget about that for now. Now, one thing that kind of is comical that I think she's getting advice. I think she's getting advice like, Riza, don't cook for him because if you cook for him, you make things easy for him, and then he's not gonna want you back. It'll be a cold day in hell that I'm gonna retreat from my stance. Okay, it'll be a cold day in hell when I go back on my word. I don't want her back until after I leave next year. Is that clear? So I don't care if she don't cook for me. I mean, I got a whole rice bag that I bought right here. Look at this. Look at this. Come on, man. Come on. You know what I'm saying? I got a whole bag of new rice that I could cook myself. Now I want to get a rice cooker because the rice cooker really comes out really nice. It really comes out nice and yummy. You know what I'm saying? Just to steal a phrase from how Filipinos speak. We don't speak like that anymore. But I've been here for 5 years, so I want to buy that next month. But yeah, I could cook anytime. I could cook anytime I want to. This idea, you don't have to cook rice for me. You don't have to buy nothing for me. I don't care. You think that Jesus fasted for 40 days and for 40 nights. So he gave us an example that if you're hungry, you stick with it. You stick to your guns and you stick, and you don't go under the temptation. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever you want to call this trial, tribulation, whatever the hell you want to call it. You know what I mean? So I mean, I am perfectly fine in waiting this out. I mean, next year I have more money because I'm just paying too much bloody money for this loan that I owe Atian. But and I have to think about my babies. I had to buy Pampers. I had to buy this. I had to buy that. I had to buy, I had to buy a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But listen. Let me tell you something. If she thinks that Bondi speaking to her and giving her advice not to cook for me, or her mother is speaking to her giving her advice not to cook for me, I don't give two hoots in hell if you don't cook or not. Excuse my language, guys. I really, when you have a wife, then you know how I feel. A wife that's not acting like a Christian, at least she's not acting like, I can't say that she's not because I can't see her soul, I mean, we were sitting right at this table. I was leading her to Christ. Okay, you understand what I mean? So she owes me that. She was on, this girl was on her way to hell. fire and torture if I don't come to the Philippines. She was on her way to hell because her family didn't speak to her about Jesus. Her ex didn't speak to her about Jesus. Nobody spoke to her about Jesus. At least she didn't listen. And if she makes it to heaven, well then she is duped to that I gave her the truth about the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I'm talking about the Mormon Church. I was talking about, true evangelical Christianity, Anyway, those two things I wanted to bring to you before I get into other things. And I'm not going to be putting any more videos of any more marriage videos or any, first of all, there's something wrong with my phone, so I can't upload anything from a card. So you're not going to see me upload anything old until I either get a computer next year or I get a new phone next year, Now it's just everything that's basically new, off the phone, So that's just the deal with that. So I mean, the card slot was damaged, I think. So it's not really reading. I don't know. Maybe it needs a SIM card. I don't know. But this idea that I need her to cook for me, and I'm gonna, if she doesn't cook for me, I'm gonna let her back in. Those days are over, man. Those days are over. Those days are over. I don't want to be with this individual anymore. I don't want to be with her children anymore. I don't want to be with her family anymore. I only visit there when I need to visit there to ask her a question or because of the baby. The other day I asked her, the container that you gave me for the milk of Anna is not the same one. This is not the same one that it was in. The milk was in last time. So can you please let me know? And she was like beefing, bitching, whining, and complaining in the middle of the night. I went there only 8 o'clock or something like that, or whatever it was. And she's bitching, whining, and moaning, complaining under her breath, it's like the freaking Flintstones, you know what I'm saying? And then I just wanted to know which container is the right one, because you got this container over here. She didn't tell me. You got this, I can't move it too much, but you got other containers here that has milk. You have this one. All this milk I bought, by the way. You have this container over here that I think is Sean's. I mean, so I can't give her milk that's for a 1-year-old baby or even less. So I mean, stop your bitching, whining, and complaining, and do your job, and get off your butt and come to the house, which she eventually did. So also I wanted to mention this. I think it's a stretch, but I want to mention it anyway, even though Risa might be laughing at me and say, well, no, they didn't do this, but that's because of that. No, but I want to mention it anyway because of my sister and my brother. If my brother and my sister, if you're out there, okay, you know who you are. If my brother and sister, full brother and full sister, okay, called the police and got the police over here to ask to see how I am, I want to thank you, but I'm fine. Okay, there's nothing that I can't handle. You guys know how I am. There's nothing that I can't handle. There's nothing that I can't handle. There's nothing that I can handle. I can speak to the police, because the police came over and was asking me a whole bunch of questions, and also including, do you have any enemies in the Philippines? And I said no. I don't really have any actual enemies that want to do me in. So I had to say no, because I had arguments and fights with her brothers and some of her brothers anyway and stuff like that. But is there an actual enemy that wants to hurt me or something like that, or shoot me or stab me, or I don't know anybody like that here in the Philippines. Okay, I'm okay. I have arguments with the family and sometimes have arguments with other people, but I don't see anybody as an enemy, like a really enemy. You know what I mean? My enemy is the people under my own roof. I count my wife as the enemy of the cross of Christ, as my personal enemy also. I listen. A good wife is not only to cook and clean for you or to do things physical. Any wife could do that. Even a bad wife can do that. I got married for companionship, for a relationship, a wonderful relationship, for communication, for tenderness, for somebody that I can help, somebody that can submit to my affection. I mean, all that stuff. You understand what I mean? And she's not doing any of that stuff. She can't communicate because, first of all, she's rotten in English and she doesn't want to learn. And so, cooking and cooking and cleaning. Listen, before I came here to the Philippines, people have to understand that I was by myself for 15 years. After I left my mother's house, I was alone for 15 years. From 2003 all the way to 2018, I was alone. Now, my mother used to visit me and bring me things, and who's going to deny a help of a mother? you know, of a real woman. You know, my mother was a real woman. My mother was a real woman of God. She was a real person, not like this Riza Tapaya now Quinones, soon to be ex, that doesn't even know what she's doing in life and that does nothing in life. And that is not to say that I don't love my wife. I'll be lying to through my teeth. I'll be lying to you. I do love my wife, but listen, we need a separation. That's all there is to it, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that. We need a separation. That's all there is to it. And you know, when I have the money to get a separation and have my connections and get help and get people to get me to certain places, I'm gonna file for a separation. That's all there is to it. That's all there's to it. I mean, you know, it's time for her to go her way. It's time for me to go my way. That's it. You know, and God help the next person that she's not supposed to be with a person after she got a separation from her husband. You know, Romans chapter 7 talks about that, and what do you call it? 1 Corinthians chapter 7 talks about that. You understand what I'm saying? So, in other passages of scriptures, not only those passages, but she has to remain by herself. So, if she marries another person, she's going to be committing adultery. That's just the way it is. It's just she's playing the role of the believer, and I'm playing the role of the Lord Jesus Christ in this marriage. Look at Ephesians chapter 5, verses 20 to the end of the chapter. Okay, so you know, love your wife as like love Christ loved the church. Submit to your husband. So so the thing is that, you know, she's failing in her role, and I think that to tell you the truth, we both failed in some aspect or another. Nobody has been perfect in this marriage. I was gonna say God-forsaken marriage, but I think maybe that's a little bit too strong. We do have 2 kids out of this marriage. You understand what I'm saying? So it's hard to say God-forsaken marriage. I mean, you know, nothing is final yet. You don't know what could happen this year or whatever. But as of now, I mean, it's on its way out. The marriage is out. It's gonna go out the window. That's how I want it. I don't want to be with this person anymore. I don't want to be with her family anymore. And unfortunately, when you marry somebody, you marry into the family. I'm not looking for a relationship like this. I'm looking for a relationship that has to do with spiritual things also, to lift me up and to edify me also, to make me better. It's not supposed to be one-sided, that I make her better. It's supposed to be the other side also. She's not contributing nothing spiritual to this husband and wife relationship. You understand what I'm saying? So I just wanted to say that you know, I think that maybe she searched the wrong floor. The people who are giving advice not to cook for me and stuff like that, I don't really give 2 hoots in hell about it, because it'll be a cold day in hell that I'm gonna go back this time on my word. I'm not going to go back on my word this time. That is it. You know, and it's unfortunate. I'm gonna ask for help in buying a house next year, which I'm very capable of doing next year after I get out of this loan. And if I have the right contacts and stuff like that, then I can get a nice house and blah blah blah. I mean, that's all there is to it. You know, I have no plan to go back to America now. There's no plan at all whatsoever. You're talking about I haven't even mailed out my application yet. My application is late, 7 months late, or 8 months, or whatever it was that I got the application. I haven't even mailed it in yet. I filled it up, but I didn't mail it in. Even if I mail it in, I'm not gonna get an apartment for at least 6 years, and it's probably even more than that. So forget about that for now. That's not in the cards. But I just wanted to tell you that you know, if she thinks that she's gonna pressure me, she's out of her mind. Because you know, I'm a survivor, man. I'm a survivor. I went through 2 deaths in my life. The death of my mother and the death of my father before my mother, way before. When I was 17, I lost my father, and when I was 47, I lost my mother. I mean, so there's nothing that I can't go through. I've seen it all. I've seen birth, marriages, deaths. I mean, I've seen them all. You understand what I'm saying? So there's nothing that rocks me. My eyes are tearing up because I'm crying. It's just that my eyes are just like tearing. I think the lights are bothering me up over here. And it gets like that, like in the morning time. And you know something? Also, I wanted to say this also. Thank God I wasn't in the United States, because you know something? There's this tears medication that you put in your eye in order to make it moist so you won't get a headache. It's called artificial tears. and you put it is their eye drops, and you put it in your eyes, so it can be moist and nice and wet and stuff like that. It's really good for the eyes when they're dry and you have a headache. Do you know that India, who is one of the countries who makes those artificial tears, was actually responsible in the death of 4 or 5 people who used the eye drops because the factory comes from India, and it was dirty, and so the tears eye drops got infected and killed like 4 or 5 people in the states. God knows while I'm here, man. God knows while I'm here. I thank God, I escaped COVID because I was here. I escaped the thing that I just told you now because I'm here, and God knows what else. You know, God knows what else I escaped. You know, so God knows what He's doing. It's for a reason I'm here, and also because to beget children, which I wanted to do. I wanted my 2 children. She didn't. She didn't want the two. Maybe she wanted Anna, but Sean she didn't want. So she could kiss his rear end all she wants to, but she didn't want that baby. I know that because I sleep with the woman. You don't. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's just all there is to it. You could know her afar as a cousin or as a friend or whatever the case may be, but you don't actually know Risa because you don't live with her 24. You don't live with her like I used to live with her. Trying to refrain it, 24 hours a day. You just don't know her, and I do though. So, but I don't anymore. You understand what I'm saying? So that's it. So I just want to cover all the bases and just let you know, this is my last actual video now. There's not gonna be no more video for the kids, of the kids, unless there's a great injustice that I have to record. Then then I'll record it and for evidence, future evidence for court or for the police or for whatever the case may be, because everything has to do with evidence, man. You need evidence, you need proof. It's mere hearsay, she versus she said, he said sort of a deal. In America, it's like that. You need facts, you need evidence. And I have facts and evidence. I have her confession on my phone that she was cheating with Ron. I have that confession. She confessed to me that, yeah, you're right. I have documentation of me posing as Risa and speaking to the dude, and him contacting me thinking I'm Risa and whispering sweet nothings. I have the proof. I have the proof. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's just as simple as that. I have the proof how she was treating Anna in certain situations. So I have the proof. And she can bitch, whine, and complain and laugh about it and poo-poo it all she wants to. But if I need to use it, I'll use it. If I need to use it, I'll use it in court if I need to. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about taking Anna because Anna, the thing is that I'm gonna be living by myself at least for now. Maybe after the separation, and if I get remarried like that, and then I can take Anna with me. This will be help, But I'm gonna be living alone, and what I'm gonna do when I need to go out, I can't take Anna with me because she can't walk, and she's very heavy, and I can't leave her by herself. So I'm gonna have to leave her here. Wait for a second, guys. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to leave her here, So and Sean, he'll probably come with me in the future because she wants to work anyway in Cebu, so she don't really care too much about, keeping him for the rest of her life. She has other ambitions, So I mean, once he gets older and once the charm of the babies wear off, this family's love for the babies grows cold. Like for example, if you're a baby, they'll kiss you, they'll hug you, they'll say I love you and all this garbage, But once you get a certain age, you ain't gonna get a kiss, you ain't gonna get a hug, and you ain't gonna get no I love you. That's a fact. That's a fact. So I mean, I don't have no problem with taking him because she probably don't want to stay with him anyway when he's older anyway, because she has other ambitions, whether she wants to go to the Middle East or whether she wants to go to Cebu or back to her ex. I really don't care. I'm not a jealous guy. I don't care. But she's going to be sinning against God, and her conscience is going to bother her if she's sleeping with somebody else at the time that we're going through the separation and stuff like that. So if she does that, well, then she's going to have to answer to God, because she knows that's very horrible sin against the Lord, who she sings about all the time. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm doing fine. That's basically what's going on, in my life now. That's not I can't handle. Also, I wanted to say that I'm not gonna be exposing friends anymore. Time is too short to waste time like that. Right now, I just wasted like almost like 1 hour in exposing her yet again and telling you things and stuff like that. It's time to get back to what I was born to do, and I was born to be an evangelist. I was born again to be a preacher. I was born again to be a Bible teacher. I wasn't born again to primarily go against Obed and Riza and Denise and Greg. Well, Greg, I can go against because he talks about the King James only, and that comes under the umbrella of apologetics. So I could go against him, but this idea that I'm going to be going, and Mark is fair game also because he's a Jehovah's Witness. But everybody else, I'm not going to be doing that anymore. Unless they do something horrible, I'll be back. Like horrible. That's something that I really have to do, show as evidence. But if that's not going to be the case, I'm really going to, focus on my Bible studies and stuff like that, which I'm not really doing now too much. If you notice, everything has been about the family, about the quarrels, about the arguments, about the fights, and there's been very, very sporadic uploads on YouTube. And that could be used as a tactic, okay, or what's going on now of Satan to get me, not down, but get me busy and focusing on the family issues and not focusing on the things of Christ. And that could be a trick of Satan, of the devil. We're not ignorant of his devices. So I'm going to get back to, not because I'm afraid, but I'm going to get back to what I was born again to do and not let myself be governed by the activity, either good or bad, of this family, including my wife. I'm not going to let that dominate my time, So if you don't see me talking anymore about it, it's because nothing big has happened. The moving is not going to be this year, God willing, if I have life. We don't even know if we're going to be past this year. We don't know what's going to happen this year, So, but that's next year. So unless something really horrible happens that I have to spit it out, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to focus on my Bible teachings. I'm going to focus. Man, I might put some videos of Anna like that, but I'm not going to be mentioning nothing about the family and exposing people and stuff like that. Because first of all, she doesn't listen anyway. They don't listen. They don't listen. So why even waste my time? I'm just wasting right now, I don't know what it is, 40 or 50 minutes of my time. For what? If she's not saved, she doesn't have the ability to change. Yeah, so everybody could turn over a new leaf, but she's not even doing that. So why waste my time on somebody who, first of all, doesn't love God, apparently so, doesn't love the church, doesn't love her husband, sometimes doesn't love her children, and doesn't even love herself and respect herself, and doesn't even respect our home, and doesn't respect the community because